Hey, Sunny here from The Profitpreneur, and today we are answering a question from a viewer, Andy K899, about MLMs versus pyramid schemes. Andy's comment said, I'm in my 40s, but I'm embarrassed to say I don't know much about pyramid schemes or MLM. I do know that they have a bad reputation. Can you explain why that is? And are pyramid schemes morally wrong? Thank you, Andy K. So yes, you're right. Pyramid schemes and MLMs do have a bad reputation among the general public. In fact, according to a AARP study, about 65% of people believe that MLMs are scams. And in all honesty, I believe the reason people believe they're scams is because of how they are presented, right? With the classic, hotel room, a living room, a group presentation with some guy in a suit talking about, making $50,000 a month part-time. They can sound pretty unbelievable and scammy. I'll definitely admit that. But here are the actual facts. Pyramid schemes are illegal. Multi-level marketing, or MLM, is legal. When asked what's the difference between a legitimate direct sales opportunity and a pyramid scheme, MLM attorney Jeff Babner states the following.
It's a great question, and it is one that has been a bit perplexing because they both look alike. They both have a pyramid aspect to it, as all business has a pyramid aspect to it. The differentiating feature, however, we always like to say, and when I'm in court, or I'm explaining to the press, or I'm explaining to companies that may be suppliers, the question is always, what is it that people are paying and why are they paying it? If you're selling a product or a service and it stands on its own in the marketplace, people would buy it because they want it. Then you have a real legitimate direct selling company. If on the other hand, basically people, the quality of the product is low, the price is high, it merely becomes an excuse for people to basically buy the product because they want to qualify in the program to recruit others and make money and make commissions.
Jeff also goes on to say that pyramid laws basically say it's illegal to make people have to pay money for the right to go recruit others, effectively, who will go and do the same, and so on. Now, you have to pay attention to what is actually said and not to what you think is being said here. The law illegalizes people paying money just for the right to recruit others who pay who pay money just for the right to recruit others who pay money just for the right to recruit others, and on and on and on. Paying money for the right to sell a product or service is completely different. Now, with the MLMs, the money you pay for the right to sell a product or service gives you the right to not only sell that product or service, but it also gives you the right, but not the obligation, to recruit others who will sell that product or service. The distinguishing factor here is that when a new person is recruited and pays the fee to join, no commissions are earned from that joining fee. Jeff Babner states that later in his interview here.
And that's why every statute that's a pyramid statute has what is referenced as a prohibited investment, meaning other than the exemption for purchasing an at-cost sales kit, typically $49 up to $100, which is sold not for profit, no commissions paid, very well accepted. Every leading company has this. All other purchases from the company are optional.
All other purchases from the company are optional, meaning just because you're a rep does not mean you have to buy the products or services to get paid. That is a feature of a legit MLM. A pyramid scheme would obligate you to have to buy products or services in order to earn commissions from selling them. He then goes on to say that the issue is whether or not people buy the product because they want to use it for their own purpose or they want to sell it. If people are buying it just to sell it, that's grounds for being classified as a pyramid scheme. According to the law, as long as the MLM makes more than 70% of its profits from selling its products or services, it's considered a legal business. In other words, a legit company says, most people who buy and use our products and services do not sell them. They only want to use our products and services. Some people want to make money selling our products and services, and those folks will pay a fee to do so, but they are not obligated to buy the products themselves. They also have the right to recruit others who sell products and services, but we will not pay a commission on the fee that a new rep pays to join. We only pay commissions on the sale of products and services. Now, on the other hand, a pyramid scheme says, Most people who buy and use our products and services do so strictly because they want to sell them. Otherwise, they wouldn't be buying it because it costs too much. In order to participate in our opportunity, you are obligated to make a product purchase. And when you recruit others to sell the products and services, you'll earn a commission from the fee they pay to join. Now, of course, they won't say that directly, but that is what's happening, okay? Those are the facts. Now, for a lot of people, especially the anti-MLM community, the facts just don't really matter to them, right? A lot of them believe that MLMs should be outlawed just as well, that the FTC needs to shut down all MLMs because they perceive them as, they perceive all MLMs as pyramid schemes and all pyramid schemes to be MLMs. Now, for a lot of folks, they've made that decision to distrust all MLMs, whether legit or not, based off of their own past experiences as well as others. And it doesn't matter what actual facts you present to them, they don't care about the facts. They only care about their perception, right? Now, everyone's entitled to their own opinions as long as they realize that it doesn't matter how much anti-MLM ranting they do, it's not going to invalidate the MLM business model. And a lot of anti-MLMers believe it's a scam simply because the math of 5 who get 5 who get 5 and so on will eventually end up being more than the amount of people on Earth. And honestly, that logic is totally invalid, and there are several reasons for that. For one, not everyone who gets involved in MLM wants to make a gazillion dollars. In fact, most people only want to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. And oftentimes that will only require having 30 to 100 customers. Which brings me to point number 2. Not everyone in MLM is going to try to recruit people. A lot of people simply want to sell the products and services. They don't necessarily want to build a huge team of people. That's just not how they want to operate their business. Another thing that invalidates that whole, more than the world's population thing is that it's simply theory.
It's always theory, and I don't know, it's just a theory.
That has never ever actually happened and never will happen because it's simply impossible for everyone in the world to be buying something from the same company. The theory itself assumes the impossibility of one company having close to 100% market share, meaning everyone in the world who purchases a certain type of product, say for example, skincare products, buys those products from this one single company, meaning that this one company will have a complete monopoly on that particular market. Take this chart of smartphone operating systems, for example. This more than the world's population theory would assume the following if this was an MLM. 1, that everyone in the world has a smartphone. This is not true, and that right there invalidates their argument already, but let's entertain it a little further. 2, that everyone who has a smartphone uses a single operating system, let's say Android, for example. And if everyone only uses Android, that would mean that one of 2 things is happening. Either there are no other choices to choose from, meaning no other types of phones exist, which we all know is not true, or 2, that everyone in the world thinks the same exact way about their smartphone and prefers the same exact thing and can all afford the same exact thing, which we all know is also not true. All of these are impossibilities, and the entire more than the world's population theory is based on an impossibility. The reality is that people like choice, and not everyone is going to choose to buy from one single company. That theory is also dumb because it assumes that no money is made until new people are brought into the company. And that is simply not true. New participants are required for growth, yes, but legit MLM companies in the vast majority of cases have products and services that are consumable, meaning people have to buy them over and over again, either when they run out of product or when the end of the month comes and it's time to pay the bill again in order to continue service for another month. So speaking in terms of reality and not this impossible, never happen, never will theory that these people love to lean on, companies grow, companies stay stagnant, and companies regress in terms of customers or revenue. Happens all the time. Just look at the stock market. Nothing goes up and up and up perpetually forever and ever. So the more than the world's population crap, please stop, because you think you sound smart when in actuality you sound dumb and ignorant if you actually stop and think about what you're saying for just 1 second. Jesus.
Crushed it, literal mic drop.
Now, I will say that there are ways to promote a legit MLM in such a way that it turns into a pyramid scheme or seems pyramid scheme-ish, but to tell the difference between an actual pyramid scheme and a legit MLM is close to impossible to do to the untrained eye. And that's because to the untrained eye, MLMs can look suspiciously similar to a pyramid scheme.
It's a pyramid scheme.
It's not a pyramid scheme.
But just like a lot of things, there is a fine line between legal and not legal, or this versus that. And in order to know the difference, you need to take a look under the hood, look inside and see what's really going on. That's why all the companies who end up getting classified as an illegal pyramid scheme have to go through court and litigation where they have to open up their books and financials so that based on that insider information, it can be determined whether or not it's a legit MLM or an illegal pyramid scheme. For example, both of these bars are selling alcohol, but which one is selling alcohol illegally? The answer is that there is no way to tell unless you look at their liquor license. Do they even have one? If they do have one, is it expired? Are they selling to underage drinkers? It just depends. You can't just look on the outside and tell if they're legit or not. Another example, actually maybe you can play along, right? This will help to get the point across that there can be two things that look a lot alike but are very different. So let's have some fun. All right, so I'm going to show a picture of two very similar looking animals and you'll need to guess which is which. Ready? Which of these is a leopard and which one is a jaguar? Did you know that leopards hate water like most cats, but jaguars actually like water? That's crazy. Next, which of these is a crocodile and which is the alligator? Which of these is a wasp and which is a hornet? Which of these is a seal and which is a sea lion? Which of these is a raven and which is a crow? Which of these is a donkey and which is a mule? If you're like most people, you probably had to guess most of these, right? I know I did. However, if you're an animal expert, you probably could tell the difference. Well, it's the same thing with pyramid schemes versus legit MLMs. Being able to tell a pyramid scheme from a legit MLM takes some expertise. So much so that it oftentimes takes lawyers and judges to make that distinction because the devil is in the details. So let's look at how a few sites classify one from the other. According to South Dakota Consumer Protection website, multi-level marketing or MLM or network marketing is individuals selling products to the public, often by word of mouth and direct sales. The main idea behind the MLM strategy is to promote maximum number of distributors for the product and exponentially increase the sales force. The promoters get commissions on the sale of the product as well as compensation for sales their recruits make. Thus, the compensation plan in multi-level marketing is structured such that the commission is paid to individuals at multiple levels when a single sale is made, and commission depends on the total volume of sales generated.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Pyramid schemes are, however, fraudulent schemes disguised as an MLM strategy. The difference between a pyramid scheme and a lawful MLM program is that there is no real product that is sold in a pyramid scheme. Participants attempt to make money solely by recruiting new participants into the program. The hallmark of these schemes is the promise of sky-high returns in a short period of time for doing nothing other than handing over your money and getting others to do the same. Lately, a lot of crypto pyramid schemes have been popping up, promising, 2% daily or 5% weekly returns for doing nothing but handing over your money. In fact, I'd go as far as to say that 99% of MLMs involving crypto investments are actually pyramid schemes or Ponzi schemes. A friend of mine actually lost her $10,000 investment in a Ponzi scheme in Maryland.
In July 2020, the U.S. Attorney's Office in Maryland, after conducting an investigation with the FBI, as well as the U.S. Postal Inspection Service and the U.S. Secret Service, indicted three defendants, John Frimpong and Arlie Johnson, for orchestrating a $28 million Ponzi scheme based out of Maryland.
The crazy thing is that we actually went to this guy's office. We went to his house too, before he ended up getting indicted, right? Everything seemed legit, but he was lying to everyone. It's crazy. Now, according to the FTC website, businesses that involve selling products to family and friends and recruiting other people to do the same are called multi-level marketing, or MLM, network marketing, or direct marketing businesses. Some MLMs are illegal pyramid schemes. Pyramid schemes are scams. They can look remarkably like legitimate MLM business opportunities and often sell actual products, maybe even ones you've heard of. The promoters of a pyramid scheme may try to recruit you with pitches about what you'll earn. They may say you can change your life, quit your job, and even, get rich by selling the company's products. That's a lie. Your income would be based mostly on how many people you recruit, not how much product you sell. Now, this wording can be pretty confusing because what you need to realize is that in a legit MLM, your money comes from product sales only. Now, the more recruits you have in your team, the more product sales you can potentially be paid on. So in essence, the big money comes from recruiting a large team. The thing to remember though, is that in a legit MLM, each person in that team should be developing a small customer base of maybe 20 or 50 or even 100 or more customers using and consuming the products and services on a monthly ongoing basis. And that small customer base should provide that rep with a decent amount of extra money, maybe $300 to $500 a month, maybe $1,000 a month in some cases for larger customer bases. And that extra income for the part-timer is the basis of the MLM business model. And the more people you have earning a part-time income off of just customers, the more and more money you can make. Now, given that the vast majority of folks that get into MLM are only looking to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month part-time, there would be a lot of folks that are satisfied with the income they are making. Right? There are only a small amount of people that are seriously looking to go full-time in MLM. So the talks of big money, 6 figures or more, should really not even enter the conversation in a public setting like a living room or hotel meeting, because that's where it can start to sound scammy, because people can really only realistically believe they can make about double of what they currently make. So talking to someone who makes $60,000 a year and saying they can make $60,000 a month is overkill, and they're not going to believe you. And while it may be true and possible, it is definitely not likely that they're going to make that much in MLM. Just wanted to make sure that was understood. Let's jump back in there. So they go on to talk about being encouraged to buy more product than you need, or buying just to remain eligible to get paid. You can pause it or visit the links to these pages in the description of the video if you really want to read more. Let's look at the warning signs here from the FTC. Here are some warning signs of a pyramid scheme. Promoters make extravagant promises about your earning potential. Promoters emphasize recruiting new distributors for your sales network as the real way to make money. In a legitimate MLM program, you should be able to make money just by selling product. Promoters play on your emotions or use high-pressure sales tactics, maybe saying you'll lose the opportunity if you don't act now, and discouraging you from taking time to study the company. Distributors buy more products than they want to use or can resell just to stay active in the company or to qualify for bonuses or other rewards. If you see this happening, keep your money. Here's an article by Forbes magazine. They say, it's understandable if the dynamic of MLM companies has you questioning if they're little more than pyramid schemes. Both, after all, operate with the same pyramid-shaped structure. So what makes one legitimate and the other an illegal scam? It comes down to the sales versus recruitment focus in the compensation plan. According to the Federal Trade Commission, if an MLM is not a pyramid scheme, it will pay you based on your sales to retail customers without having to recruit new distributors. Pyramid schemes, meanwhile, rely on continuous recruitment of dues-paying members to stay afloat, even if they require members to keep buying products that they may not be able to sell. In another article, Forbes says, pyramid schemes are similar to Ponzi schemes and multi-level marketing companies, but there are important distinctions among these three structures. Here's how to tell them apart from an MLM or a Ponzi scheme. On the surface, a pyramid scheme appears to be a legitimate company selling products or services, but the core goal is always to grow the number of participants in the scheme rather than grow product sales. In a legitimate business or an MLM, salespeople are compensated for selling products or services. The compensation structure tends to reward participants for recruiting an ever-growing number of new participants, not for growing product sales. Again, the writing here is confusing because the first sentence describes a legit MLM, but then in the second sentence, they switched to talking about a pyramid scheme, but they did not let the reader know that they were switching. So it would have been helpful to say something like, on the other hand, in pyramid schemes, the compensation structure tends to reward participants for recruiting an ever-growing number of new participants, not for growing product sales. So even reading these articles can be very confusing because some of them have writing that isn't clear or just flat out contain some false information. Remember, the people writing these articles are people too, okay? Just like you and I, they can definitely make mistakes too. So they go on to say there are certain similarities between a legitimate MLM and an illegitimate pyramid scheme. Here are points where these two models resemble each other. Participants do not earn a regular salary and are expected to purchase a certain amount of product per month in order to remain as part of the company. Participants may receive compensation or commissions for recruiting new salespeople to the business. Participants work as independent contractors who earn money by selling products and or by earning commissions based on what their recruits sell. Participants are usually charged membership fees. They sell products or services through person-to-person sales and pay sales commissions up the chain. Here are some key distinctions between a pyramid scheme and an MLM. Now, this chart is actually not accurate because all the MLMs I know, except for two, require a fee to join. A lot of the product-based companies have low fees of maybe, $30, $60 a year. The service-based companies can be a bit higher at about $100 to $300 either one-time fee or yearly. And some also have monthly website fees of around $30 a month for your replicated website and back office tech tools. Legit product-based companies will buy back unused inventory, and legit MLMs altogether will focus on product sales more so than recruiting. So as I said before, telling the difference between the two is often a matter of splitting hairs, right? Now for me, I've been around the industry for a while and I can tell when a company has some pyramid scheme vibes going on. For example, I can look at a compensation plan and based on that, I can sort of tell if it's a pyramid scheme or not. And the main thing I look for in a compensation plan is, do the reps get paid for recruiting a new rep, even if no product purchase is made? For example, let's say the cost to be a rep is $50 and the products cost $100. With a legit MLM, purchasing products is optional and isn't required to participate in the business. Being a sales rep and being a customer are two completely separate and distinct things in most legit MLMs. So it's entirely possible for me to refer a new rep, have that rep pay the $50 fee to join, but that rep doesn't buy any products. That's perfectly fine. Now the question is, does the company pay a commission when that rep pays the sign-up fee but didn't buy any products? For a legit MLM, the answer to that is going to be no. Commissions can only be paid on product purchases. So the only instance where recruiting a new rep would generate a commission is if that new rep also made a product purchase at the same time. But for a pyramid scheme, the answer is going to be yes. Pyramid schemes will absolutely pay commissions on people paying the sign-up fee, even if no products or services were purchased. There are other distinguishing factors, such as the pricing and value of the products and services, but the easiest way to tell one from the other is if they pay commissions on product sales only, or do they pay commissions on the fee that a new rep pays. Now, MLM does have a bad reputation, and that's for a number of reasons. Number one, any and everyone can join an MLM, right? This includes good people, bad people, ethical people, unethical people, criminals, and law-abiding citizens. Everyone can join, and they are all independent representatives. So some people may choose to operate their business in a way that the general public does not like. It's not necessarily the company that's telling them to do these things, it's the individuals. themselves that have taken it upon themselves to act unscrupulously, to not disclose all the facts, to hide things, to coerce, manipulate, pressure people, all those things. People don't like, some people in legit MLMs will actually do. In fact, a very prominent and successful person in the MLM space, Tom Chenault, actually admitted to being that guy, right? Listen to this clip from a podcast he did where he talked about some of the sleazy stuff he used to do.
The great Tom Chenault, who wasn't great, the ego-driven Tom Chenault, who acted like he invented network marketing. I just stood up there and lied through my teeth from stages about how I discovered network marketing, quit my brokerage job, analyzed all the companies on the planet and chose this one because in network marketing, we're very, very good at rewriting history to make ourselves the hero. And I had an epic speech and people were believing me until they didn't believe me. So they signed up, but they realized in 5 minutes I was full of bullshit, so they quit. So I had to constantly be filling up the pipeline and a guy grabs me. I was like a huge qualified muckety muck in the comp plan. I was buying my check. They were quitting faster than they were going in. I knew if I kept living this lie in the business, I would be just like the brokerage business and I would start drinking because I was living a lie. And this guy walked up to me and said, Tom, I go, what? He goes, you got charisma. I go, I know. And you could talk people into doing anything. I go, I know. And the only problem is, you are going to take a lot of people into bankruptcy. You are going to go broke enthusiastically and take other people with you. And I go, what are you talking about? He goes, you are just such a mess. You don't care about anybody but you. You'll do anything to get somebody to sign up. You'll lie through your teeth about everything. And I'm telling you, a lot of people are going to join you. They're all going to leave you. You're going to flame out in a huge blaze of glory, and you're going to blame this profession. And I just need you to know that I think you're a first-class jerk.
Good coaching.
I heard him. I freaked out. I'd done the landmark forum. I had been in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I just said, he's right. And so I completely reinvented myself over the next couple of months to do exactly the opposite of what got me in. And that's tell the truth as fast as I can, treat people like human beings and not prospects, and love like crazy, then love more. And I built a career on what I learned in Alcoholics Anonymous and the Landmark Forum.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you also must have invented the stigma that network marketing is a profession for losers and desperate people.
I was a loser and a desperate person on the inside, but I had this shiny outside, like most people. And I just figured you had to show them all the flash and everything that the FTC doesn't like, I was.
Yeah.
And so I'm very present to that now. I've kind of dedicated my life to telling the truth as fast as I can, not only in network marketing, but in every area of my life. And it's worked out really, really well for me on a lot of fronts.
So yeah, there are some bad actors in the MLM space, and if you've been a victim of some of these sleazy tactics, then it's easy to group it all in and say that all MLMs are bad or all MLMs are scams. Also, a lot of people who attempt to build an MLM business either get little to no training, or they get trained to do incorrect business building practices that people don't like. Prime example, a friend and a client of ours was invited to get on a Zoom call with a Facebook friend. They said they had someone they wanted him to meet. He agreed. When they get on the call, the person they wanted him to meet started talking to him about their MLM company. He wasn't made aware by the Facebook friend that this is what the purpose of the call was. He got ambushed, blindsided, and it didn't feel good at all. Now, this goes on a lot in MLM, and it's one of the many reasons why MLMs have a bad reputation. At the end of the day, it all comes down to what you choose to do and what you choose to believe. If you join an MLM, you can choose to operate your business in a sleazy way or in an ethical way. You choose to get the proper training or choose to not get training at all. Now, a lot of times I do understand that people are new to it, so they just, believe what they're told only to discover it doesn't work and it doesn't feel good. So sometimes that's out of their control. You can choose to believe that all MLMs are evil and should be shut down, or you can choose to believe that there are just some bad apples in this industry and that you just happen to come across those people. You can choose to believe that not all MLMs are bad, or that there are some good ones and some bad ones. You can choose to be a professional, or you can choose to be an amateur. Most people in MLM are amateurs, by the way. Professionals get paid a lot of money. Amateurs don't make any money. So I hope this video helped clarify that, and let me know in the comments, what has been your experience with MLMs or pyramid schemes? I'm really curious to know your stories when it comes to MLMs versus pyramid schemes. Until next time,
adios.